you don't believe in God or anything like that, it's insulting to thousands of years of tradition and faith and culture to just debase this belief system into spite. Because that's all it is. It's all it is. It's always like, oh, we're going to own the... It's kind of like how Christians will just wish people Merry Christmas with as much malice as they can possibly pull together, from mid-Thanksgiving on.
The entire purpose of the fucking holiday.
It's yeah.
Just spite, yeah.
Just Merry Christmas. Or in my house, we say Merry Christmas. Like no happiness, no joy, no goodwill toward men to be found in a single letter of the words they say. And I shouldn't feel bad for you. I shouldn't be feeling bad for your dismissal of your own God. Like, do your faith the credit of, practicing the love you pretend to have. I don't know.
I guarantee you that Jesus would be much more better buddies with me than he would with any evangelical.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, because you're a drunkard and a prostitute. All right, that's the comments here. Okay, so I saw this one earlier. Islam, Christianity, and Jews have the same God or variation of the same God. Okay, you're right. Technically, you're technically true. It is the same God. I saw Ben and narrator pointing that out. You fucking nerds. I know your point holds true, but the Muslim God is the Christian God. That's true.
That isn't true. Like that's just not. That's like saying that because it's. How do I put it?
It is true.
Well, that's like saying that 1960s Batman is the same as Christian or that Christian Bale Batman. No, they're two different fucking characters. They're completely different characters. They just have the same name. Like they're different.
Batman though, right?
Like Old Testament God is a different God than New Testament God. They are different characters. They are not. You cannot convince me they're the same person because they're not.
So, well, all right. So if we're like into the theology of it and everything, so. Like the Old Testament God, Yahweh, if it would make sense, like, because you get into the Christian doctrine of the Trinity, it starts falling apart. Like it all starts falling apart because it shouldn't be three gods. It should just be one. It doesn't make any sense. So in that sense, like
needlessly confusing. I don't know why.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. And so that does kind of fall apart that way. You would have a hard time arguing the God of Islam is not the same though, because like there's a direct through line there. I mean, it's the same. That's a good example though used about Batman. It's the same character in different interpretations. That's probably the best way to put it. Let's see. The Communist Manifesto should be required curriculum for every middle school kid. I mean, that's
middle school. No, I'm not going to do that to middle schoolers. High schoolers, it's not a pleasant read. And honestly, if I want to teach communist ideology, I'm not giving kids the Communist Manifesto.
Yeah, page 2. Yeah, that's I don't know. Let's see. Oh, we got a Wolfie comment. Wolfie looks like my cat Gracie, who we got back today. He's been gone for months. Oh no! I'm glad Gracie is back. Yeah. I was like, did Gracie...
I saw that comment come through. I was like, holy shit, good for you, Ben.
Like, was Gracie visiting relatives, or did Gracie run away? Like, what's the story here?
I read that as Gracie ran away, or Gracie's an outdoor cat that just decided to be outdoor for a while.
Outdoor cats are the fucking best, man. They are so. Outdoor cats, like if reincarnation is real, I'd love to come back as an outdoor cat because they look like they're just having the time of their lives. Man, they literally get the best of both worlds. They get to go out and do cat stuff, and they come in for a couple hours and get some,
they get air conditioning and they get to hunt. Like what?
Yeah, it's so great. Like, so there's a YouTube channel called Jackson Galaxy that my girlfriend got me into watching. He does all these cat videos, and I remember him talking about outdoor cats and indoor cats, and someone asked him, is like which. How do you think cats should live, as outdoor or indoor? And he says, well, listen, indoor cats live like 5 times longer, obviously, but he says that I think outdoor cats actually live happier lives because they do what cats are meant to do. They're meant to run around and chase animals and run from other cats and shit. Like they enjoy themselves. So I don't know. I think the indoor outdoor cat deal is pretty good. My favorite cats are that way. One of my hottest takes is that we'll know racism is gone when there are either no Black Latin categories. on porn sites, or they add a white category. John, we talked about this before once, didn't we? About how porn is one of the most racist areas in modern life, where you can just get away with it. You know, like you have like here's an Asian porn. It's called Yellowtail. Like, okay, what the fuck is going on here? He's got Mr. Smith is gonna slip her the Mushu pork. Like, all right, this is just kind of.
I do kind of agree with it. Like when a white category gets added to Pornhub, that does feel like a racial equality moment. I don't know if there is. There might be a white. I don't know. No, there probably isn't, because there's probably like an Irish category and an Italian category.
Yeah, I'd imagine you have to go to like a majority non-white country for there to be a white category. I should like get a B. Next time I'm in a majority. I've never, not never, but it's been a very long time since I'm in a majority non-white country. But I'm going to do this. I'll do some research. If anyone in our audience right now is watching from Nigeria or something like this, tell me if there's white Pornhub category. All right, well, we can find it. You know how Pornhub releases that map every year of like the most search? They do it by country too. Like I guarantee I would be shocked if there wasn't one, just for practicality's sake. You know?
Yeah, makes sense.
Let's see. My favorite is how the flying spaghetti monster came about in Kansas. If you don't know, check Wikipedia later. Okay, I don't know that story about
I recognize the name, that phrase.
Oh, I know about the flying spaghetti monster. It's like the substitute for God. It's like it's just as real as God. So people say they worship the flying spaghetti monster.
Worship the flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah, there's something with pasta. They're Pastafarians. That's what they're called, Pastafarians, which is pretty funny.
That's really funny.
And like he's called his noodliness or something. I can't remember, but it is funny. People wear colanders on their head as like as their religious headgear. Yeah. But I don't know about Kansas though. What has to do with Kansas? What would you say the Protestant God is different than the Catholic God? Oh, this is what we were talking about earlier. No. I think the Protestant God and Catholic God that's the same character, I'd imagine.
I think, it's basically the same character. Yeah, it's the supporting characters that change things for the Protestants and the Catholics.
The Catholics get Mary as like a semi-god, which the Protestants ain't dealing nothing with that shit. So
the fucking Protestants don't actually eat the blood of body and blood of Christ. You guys just eat bread and wine. My bread turns into human flesh when I consume it, and it very specifically happens when I consume it, not when it goes into my mouth. This was a debate, a major debate. People died over this.
Man. Catholics are like the worst Avengers imaginable. Their superpower is turning crackers into human flesh on certain occasions. It's like, so I remember. So correct me if I'm wrong on this, John, but I remember learning. I think I was in college. I didn't know that there's Catholic doctrine that not only was Mary a virgin when she gave birth to Jesus, but she stayed a virgin. Perpetual virginity. That's what it was the doctrine. And I learned that and I said, okay, that is less believable than her giving birth as a virgin. That she's like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to have sex ever. Like my birth canal is only one way. Like nothing is coming up inside Mary whatsoever. But
so just us Iron Manning that ridiculous argument. I do think that if I was married and I did give a virgin birth, like I never had sex, and then I had a kid, and the angel Seraphim came down and was like, "You're having this kid," and then it happened, I would just do whatever the fuck they told me to do. Like I just like the dude who survived Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's like, you know what? I have full faith in whatever the fuck you want to tell me. Like if you don't want me to have sex, I'm never having sex.
No, I don't. Did they tell her that? I thought she just didn't. I didn't know she was instructed not to. I didn't know that.
Well, no, she wasn't instructed. I mean, I guess she was married to Joseph.
She was married, right? So, like, what was I don't know. Because there's certainly no Bible verse where they say you can't have. I would have known that, but I don't.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I had actually not heard that before. So it was not taught in my Catholic church.
Let me see. What did can you? Well, I gotta pull it up. Someone with a comment there. Can you read narrator's comment there?
Too long didn't read. Kansas said you have to teach all different theories for creation to force creationism into schools. So someone came up with Pastafarianism.
I love that.
Got ya. That's the other thing though. Like I actually I learned a lot of religions in school. Like that, like I learned it academically. Like in world history and world literature, like we talked about world religions all the time. It's actually what like caused me to like, I was never religious, but it's really what caused me to just like be like, oh, this is the dumbest thing ever that we say we believe in this, because like you just see, like you study it, you just see the whisper down the lane effects of these religions. Like, this is clearly not true. We know why this is part of the Bible. It was for political reasons. We know this as a fact, and yet we just pretend it's not. Like, it's like, what the fuck?
I love when that happens. When like a document is written like just for an obvious grift or something like that, and it's taken super seriously. Say what?
Tithing.
Yeah. So you know what I really like? Dante's Inferno. A lot of ideas of what we get from hell is not in the Bible. It's in Dante's fucking Inferno. And except like the most important part where like the last circle of hell is freezing, that doesn't appear anywhere. And like it's all just the fire shit. But my favorite part about Dante's Inferno is that he basically wrote it to like talk shit about like popes and political rivals he didn't like. And then in Dante's Inferno, he runs across Virgil, and Virgil was like a Roman poet or something like that. And he's in hell, but because he's not a Christian, but he's in like the best part of hell because it's called like the virtuous pagan or something like that. And Virgil's one of the great poets of antiquity. And Dante is a character in Dante's Inferno. He wrote himself into the story. And what I love about this the most is that Dante meets Virgil, and Virgil just spends a whole lot of time gassing up Dante. Like, Dante, you're so great. It's like, you're so awesome. Like, he just wrote a fanfic. He wrote a fanfic where his favorite character, it's like a 13-year-old girl writing a One Direction fanfic about how Niall wants to fuck her. It's so funny. It's just yeah, I died and went to heaven and met James Baldwin. He was like, "Oh, TJ, I've seen your videos, man. That's incredible. You're so thoughtful and like you're so smart. How do you do it, TJ?" It's just that's exactly what Dante did, and it's like it's been a famous work of poetry for like 700 years. Dante just kissing his own ass, filleting himself. Just like, oh, we need to have every 11th grader in the country read this. It's just very funny. When I hear Virgil, I think of Devil May Cry 5, same with Dante. Yep, that's true. I thought that as well. Okay, Jesus, 8:15. All right.
Yeah, we should pick a last topic here.
Oh, which one, John? We want to do DeSantis.
Do we want to be good little boys and do DeSantis?
You know, the boys.
Or do we want to do the boys?
Well, so it's funny. I actually I messaged Coach D about this last night, and I said, "Hey, have you ever watched The Boys?" And his answer was, "No. What is The Boys?" So
it's not big in Louisiana for whatever reason. I don't know why.
So I told him, and he goes, "Oh, okay." He's like, I'll watch a couple episodes, and then we can talk about it and everything." It's like, all right, well, you'll be like 5 years behind what we're talking about here. But I did want to get his opinions on it and everything. But yesterday, John and I were just talking about how funny it is that conservatives are just now figuring out that The Boys has been making fun of them for years. And I made a video about this, and I still get so many comments from people. By the way, we talked about this before, how obnoxious it is when you just do a throwaway video that does well. It was a dumbass video. This video, I keep getting comments on it. I was like, I don't want to see it anymore. And people keep commenting. Look,
I made one, TJ. I made one last season, and it's gone. It's like not viral, but like it's starting to get comments again. I'm just like, okay,
knock it off. But people keep coming. No, Homelander's not a parody for The Boys. And I was like, okay. I actually looked up because I was like, did Eric Kripke actually ever say this? Because he did not tell me. I could see it, and I found this article in Rolling Stone, and they said, hey, so you're really pushing the Homelander is Trump thing really hard this season. You're really going over top with it. And Eric Kripke said, well, look, Trump has always been an analog for Homelander. I thought that was pretty clear. He says, but I'm really going over the top now. And I checked. He said that 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Like, it's not even been a secret. And it's just, why? why, man? Why are they so dumb? What's going on? I don't get it.
It honestly, like, it feels like they must be lying. You know what? I'm gonna give. We talked about the bear thing, and I have the same reaction that I feel like a lot of men had about the bear thing. It's like, no, you can't actually want to be in a forest with a bear instead of a man. I don't believe you. That's how I feel about people.
Oh,
like,
interesting.
Oh, it got woke this season. Like, get the fuck out of here. It has always been like this. And I saw like a tweet, and it was like, I hate the people who are mad about the boys going woke, and that's why it sucks this season. No, it sucks this season because the writing got so much worse and the characters so much worse. It's like, no, this is how it has always been. I have been like, from a, not that like, oh, I'm a film major, I know this shit better than you. The writing has never been that good. It's always been so crazily over the top. The characters have never been well developed. You want a well developed characters and good writing, good dialogue show about superheroes being realistic. Go watch Invincible.
Invincible's great.
This show is a political allegory first and everything else second. In fact, if you compare it to the fucking comics, the comics kind of suck because it's just a superhero satire. It's just a satire of superheroes. The political shit got added in by Eric Kripke, and it is the main point of the show. And it has been that way since season 1. And if you are watching now and you're like, oh, it sucks now. No, it's just more heavy-handed because of idiots like you who weren't getting it. Even though it was that heavy-handed from season 1, it's always been this way. And you know what? The fact that it took them literally inserting Marjorie Taylor Greene influencer into the story for you to fucking get it. Like, I love that they gave her no powers. And maybe like, I love that she has no actual powers. Like, that is the funniest part of it. They're like, if we make her strong, they won't get it. We have to make her weak.
So this isn't like, well, I'll get that Marjorie Taylor Greene character later, but because I have a lot to say about her. But also the boys, like, yeah, it's a political commentary masquerading as a superhero television program. It's also basically a comedy. I mean, like, it's a dark comedy. Like, yeah. It's like I feel like I laugh every scene, even the scenes that are like serious and like not really funny. It's just like the scene when do you remember the scene when Butcher and Mother's Milk are in like the infirmary, or not the infirmary, the nursery for the infant superheroes, and he picks up the baby superhero that's shooting the blue lasers out of his eyes, and he's like chopping people's heads off. Butcher's like, holy fuck, that was diabolical. I just love that shit. It's just so fucking absurd. But I don't know. I almost wish they hadn't have gone so ham-fisted with this season, because it's just like it's not even inspiration anymore. Like, Homelander's literally on trial for killing someone on Fifth Avenue. He's wearing orange underwear. He has a sham trial. It's like all of it is just right on the nose. But it took that for people to get it. And I guess I can kind of see it from the filmmaker's point of view, that you're trying to get a message across and people aren't getting it. And this is like, whenever you bring this up, a lot of things that right-wingers say is like, oh, they make fun of both sides. Only one side's complaining, though. Only one side's complaining, that it isn't going to be, oh, he's getting... Did you watch episode 3, John?
I did. I watched it last night, and I will say the scene with Homelander failing to kill Huey was dumb.
Come on, man.
It was so dumb. I will agree with the criticism there. It was real. He should have been able to kill Huey very easily.
Yeah, very easily.
And that is like kind of the biggest flaw with the show in my mind, is that Homelander should be able to easily handle these situations. And they do a decent job of explaining why he can't. But at this point, with the things holding him back off, why isn't he just killing everyone yet?
Right? Yeah.
Right. That's why I say I do think I agree with your take yesterday. I'm forgetting her name, but the smart one,
Sister Sage.
Sister Sage is going to be the pivotal moment where I'm like, what they do with this character decides whether I think this show is going to end well or not, because she's a giant fucking I don't know. And it's the first time in The Boys where I've been like, I don't know what this character's motivations are. And it's very interesting.
So with the two new characters, first with Firecracker is that she was modeled after Marjorie Taylor Greene, so inspired by her and everything. And so it was funny when she did like she snapped her fingers and it had like little firework. And Sage is like, well, that's pretty unimpressive. And she's like, well, I'm strong too. And so it was just very, but we don't know how powerful Firecracker actually is. Cause she has like Jubilee powers or something like that, but we don't know.
Jubilee is way stronger than you actually think.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we don't know how big of an explosion she can make, or I don't know. But also with Sage, great character idea. Like, she wasn't in the comics. Apparently, they created her for the show.
Awesome.
Fantastic character idea. And at the end of the episode, were you confused when she was making out with the Deep? Because I didn't know what the fuck was going on, because it showed like that stick and it had like blood on it on the table.
No, that was not explained. It'll come. I don't know what it is, but
so I was like reading around like on Reddit and stuff, and what people were surmising that this was a lobotomy stick or whatever, and so that she shoved it up her nose and fucked with her brain, and that's why she gets high, and that's why she was acting all weird, and I was like, why is she making out with Deep? The person like least likely is like, oh. And then if you look on the screen when it showed like all the superheroes they're thinking of bringing into the Seven, it lists her powers, and it states that she's the smartest person on Earth and that she has regenerative ability, so she probably grows her brain back. I was like, okay, that makes sense. But then I started thinking too with Sage is that I love the idea of a superpower being the smartest. Did you ever see The Watchmen? Movie of I loved Ozymandias because it's like, this is the smartest person in the world. And so they have this on The Boys. And I was thinking, we don't know what Sage can do, because look, if I were the smartest person on Earth, I would not show my hand. I would actually, hold back on what I'm capable of.
That's what's interesting about her character is that she's clearly. And something I do like about The Boys is very politically literate. Like, The Boys characters are very politically literate in the political ideologies they are supposed to represent. Butcher is a fucking tanky, and the show goes, Butcher is bad for being a tanky. The show is pretty clear about that. And obviously Stormfront is a fucking Nazi. Fucking Homelander is a fascist, but he is not a Nazi.
But not a Nazi. Yeah,
They are ideologically consistent with their characters. And Sister Sage is definitely being a fascist, but you don't know if she actually means it. You
don't buy it for a second. No, yeah, you're right.
But she could be. I could see it end where she's a bad guy, and she's like, I want to use Homelander to become the enlightened despot, and I'm going to take over. And that would be an interesting thing for a character. She could also be like a good guy. I don't know, and that's why this season has been interesting to me, and why I think it definitely is pivotal on her. And I really hope that they don't fuck it up.
I would like to see Homelander die this season. I don't think they'll do it.
He can't.
Because he's carrying the show, really. Because like he's the flagship of the show. Like, he's not the main character, the protagonist. But when you think of The Boys, you first think of Homelander than everybody else. So I don't know if the show could survive without him. But for storytelling, I would like Homelander to die, and then the bad guy shifts or something in an unexpected way. Oh, Mother's Milk too. Like, I didn't recognize him at first. He lost a lot of weight. I didn't get that.
Shaved the beard. I don't know. He reminds me now. Like, I can't stop seeing it, but he reminds me of Ice-T now in fucking Law and Order.
Okay, yeah, he does look him. Yeah,
and like he kind of does that, like the same sort of character. And I don't know if his acting changed, but it feels like it did.
Well, because he was so intimidating when he was.
I don't buy it anymore. He doesn't scare me anymore.
He's and so like I saw it when I first saw it, I was just like, wait, I was like, well, is it just the facial hair? I was like, no, this guy looks like 30 pounds lighter. And people were commenting on it, and he did a video talking about it. He said that he had like a. You ever heard of people go on DNA diets or something? I had a friend of mine who did it.
No, I have not.
So you
said because I thought I knew what you were about to say, but no, I've never heard of a DNA diet.
Well, a friend of mine I remember years ago did this, where you can get like a blood test and get your DNA brought. It's like, well, these are the foods that are like best for your blood type and your DNA and everything. And so he said that he had some health problems, or whatever, and so he went on this DNA diet and like didn't do all the weight training stuff anymore, take pressure off of his heart or something. So he's like 30 pounds lighter, and like, which is good for him. I mean, obviously, but the character doesn't like Mother's Milk was always like a big dude.
It doesn't hit the same. It doesn't hit. I'm sorry. Like, good for you. Definitely do what's good for your health, but you're fucking up the character, bro.
Put on a suit. Put on a super suit or something. Like, did you ever see that thing when Jensen Ackles, he played Soldier Boy, when they talked about when he first came in to get fitted for the Soldier Boy suit, and they told him he's like, well, are you gonna like pad muscles on the suit and everything? And the tailor told him, hey, Jensen, how about you bring me some muscles next April? So he went and worked out for it. But then when he came in, he's like, yeah, I put on like 15 pounds. And then Anthony Starr's like, why don't you just ask for muscles in the suit? They can do that for you. It was just so funny.